Greetings and salutations. I'm Moonthought Neverborn, the Abyss that slumbers, and you are listening to The Eldritch God. I was planning on something a bit more detailed, humorous, and commercials, but I figured the seriousness of this requires that I take a much more stripped-down approach. So we're going to get straight into the brass tacks here. Before I get started, though, I do greatly wish to encourage you to download this video and then upload it to your own channel. I'd like as many people as possible to get this information out so they start taking this seriously. Here you see my little scratch pad of how I've been calculating things. This is just a still shot. It changes daily because I update it. Days in the month. This is how many days in this given month the virus was active. We are currently on March 8th. It started on December 12th. So you get the total days, how many cases got added at the end of each month. We are currently adding on this month. So here's our current total of cases, 109,983 cases. Down here we have recovered. That really doesn't apply to much, just for calculating max chance of everybody dying, Fatalities is 3805, and I update how much the current world population is at any given moment. What's that do? Well, here's the percentage chance that you would die if you caught it on average, 3.46. I get this by taking the number of fatalities and divide it by the total cases, and this gives me what I consider the minimum number. It's not accurate, but it definitely isn't below this number as far as I'm concerned. Then to get the max, you take how many died, add it to how many recovered, and then divide how many died by recovered and fatality added together. And you come up with 5.87. This I consider to be the maximum chance you'll die that if you catch this. It's probably somewhere in between here. However, as you will see, the official, as posted by the CDC and World Health Organization, WHO, is 3.4. Yeah, I'm a bit higher than WHO, but this varies. Sometimes this drops below WHO. I prefer to go with this number just because it gives me a better perspective here. At any rate, I figured out that in the minimum case, only 30% of humanity catches the virus, and in the worst case, 70% get it. Yeah, I know, there's a potential of up to 90% getting it. But, I wanted to go with something that I considered somewhat reasonable, and, talking to the World Health Organization, they seem to think it'll be around 70% of humanity will catch it, so I use that in the worst case scenario. Then I take the total infected and multiply it by the minimum, we get our projected deaths. We take our worst case and we multiply it by the maximum, and we get our projected deaths. Then I've got some stuff down here. What I mean by generation is how long it takes for the number of cases to double. And number of cases doubled here, we are now on 16 doublings. In order to reach minimum projected deaths, we need 31 generations. Maximum generations, 32 in order to get 313 projected deaths. And so down here you see how many generations we have to go, minimum, how many we have to go maximum, which brings us our days to saturation. That means the day that the last person gets infected. In order to get 2,290,609,000 people, we have to wait 75 days. On that day, everybody will be affected. They won't be dead yet. I added on another 21 to that number, figuring that it takes about 3 weeks for somebody to either recover or die. And that gives us a whopping 1.4% of humanity dead in 100 days. Or, worst case scenario, 4.11% of humanity is dead in 102. Now understand that this is exponential. All right, by the way, you're wondering how long it takes for a doubling? That's down here. See, as you can see, it started off really high, but then it dropped and started progressing really fast, and then it stopped. And the problem is the percentage change of it getting longer and longer is decreasing as we go along. I think we're going to eventually see it even out at doubling every 6 days. That's a good round number. But right now I want to stick with the actual factors, not what I think it's going to become. So every 5.2 days, the number of cases double. What's that mean? That means we have 60 days to keep the death toll under 15 million. If we don't stop this virus entirely, 100% dead stop by day 60, it's too late. At that point, In the next 15 days, 80% of the people who are going to die will catch the virus. 80% of the deaths will happen in the last 15 days. All right? Those people who say the flu is worse, they have no idea what they're talking about. None. And the problem is they won't realize there's a problem until about day 75. And by then it's too late. And then within the next 15, 21 days, this thing maxes out. All right, so no jokes today, no humor, no weird commercials, no nothing, no humorous pictures. We got 60 days. 60 goddamn days. If we don't put a complete stop to this within 60 days, this is what we will see 100%. Maybe as high as this. And not to scare anybody, I know one guy who did the calculations. He took out China's numbers thinking that they were lying. A lot of you people out there go, China's lying. That's why the numbers look bad. No, actually, I saw the numbers when he took out China's stats and just ran with what was outside of China. It was worse. According to his records, we've got 45 days. And he projects up to 818 million dead. I hope China isn't lying. Eldritch, out.